In Greek mythology, Circe is portrayed the earliest and most powerful witches. While her early life details vary across different sources and interpretations, there are several key aspects commonly associated with her backstory. Circe is the daughter of the sun god Helios and the ocean nymph Perse. She was born on the island of Aiaia, which was believed to be located near Italy. From a young age, Circe displayed a talent for magic and sorcery inherited from her father Helios, who was associated with fire and mystical powers. As a child, Circe learned the art of potion making and spell casting, honing her skills in the arcane arts. Some versions of her story suggest that she was mentored by the goddess Hecate, who taught her the secrets of herbalism and witchcraft. Circe's early years on Aiaia were marked by solitude, as she lived apart from mortal society. Despite her isolation, she became renowned for her magical abilities and her association with transforming her enemies into animals. This reputation instilled fear and respect among those who knew of her powers. It's believed that Circe is implicated in the deaths of her husband and brother. The story is veiled in mystery, leaving room for diverse beliefs and interpretations. In one version, Circe falls deeply in love with a mortal man named Glaucus. However, her affection is not reciprocated, and Glaucus rejects her, causing Circe immense pain and heartache. Driven by a combination of love and anger, Circe decides to use her formidable magical abilities to transform Glaucus into a sea creature. On the other hand, some narratives propose a different explanation for the demise of Circe's husband. According to these interpretations, Circe's husband meets his tragic end, either as a consequence of her dangerous magical experiments gone awry, or as punishment for some perceived betrayal against her. Circe also was involved in the death of her brother, named Aeetes or Perses in different accounts, which is also depicted in various ways. In some versions, Circe is said to have poisoned her brother food out of jealousy or as a means to gain power. Other stories suggest that Circe's brother met his end in a power struggle or as a result of familial conflict, with Circe playing a role in his demise through her actions or influence. Circe was not a good or evil person, just a witch who lived like a queen on her own island, protecting herself and doing whatever she wanted with her magical powers. Circe's unexpected actions may cause harm for the sake of enjoyment, or she may offer a helping hand without being asked. Here's an example of both her temperaments. In the aftermath of the Trojan War, the hero Odysseus embarked on a journey homeward, accompanied by his loyal crew. Their voyage was fraught with peril and adventure, yet nothing could have prepared them for what awaited on the island of Aiaia. Upon reaching the island's shore, Odysseus and his men stumbled upon the domain of the powerful sorceress Circe. Sensing intruders, Circe observed from a distance as the men explored the island. Before long, the weary travelers discovered a magnificent palace, its gates adorned with intricate carvings and strange symbols. Driven by curiosity, they entered the palace and found themselves in a grand hall filled with a banquet. Suddenly, Circe emerged from the shadows. Inviting the men to feast and rest, she concealed her true intentions beneath a veil of hospitality. Legend has it that she cast a spell or potion over Odysseus's men during the feast, transforming them into pigs. Eurylochus, one of Odysseus's men, sensing treachery, chooses not to enter Circe's palace. Instead, he flees to alert Odysseus and the others who stayed behind with the ship. Meanwhile, before Odysseus reaches Circe's palace, Hermes, the messenger god sent by Athena, intercepts him. Hermes revealed a plan to defeat Circe and free Odysseus's crew from her enchantment. He provided Odysseus with moly, a protective herb against Circe's magic, and advised him to draw his sword as if to attack her. Following Hermes' instructions, from there, as Hermes foretold, Circe would be impressed by Odysseus's bravery and ask him to bed. Afterwards, Circe, unbeknownst to Odysseus, bore him a son named Telegonus, whose name means born afar. Telegonus grew up without knowing his father, but Circe eventually sent him on a quest to find Odysseus, who had returned to Ithaca after the Trojan War. However, Telegonus, in a stroke of misfortune, found himself on Ithaca during a storm. Mistakenly believing he had landed on Corcyra, ravaged by hunger, he unwittingly plundered the island. In a tragic turn of events, Telegonus accidentally took the life of his own father, Odysseus, during a skirmish with Odysseus's eldest son, Telemachus. Telemachus then married Telegonus's mother Circe, while Telegonus married Odysseus's widow Penelope. Telegonus and Penelope had a son named Italus, who, according to some accounts, gave his name to Italy. The story of Telegonus's fatal encounter with his father is recounted in the Telegony, an ancient Greek epic attributed to Eugamon of Cyrene. In this tale, Odysseus later learns from an oracle that he was doomed to meet his end at the hands of his son, leading him to banish Telemachus in fear. When Telegonus arrives in Ithaca seeking his father, a misunderstanding leads to a deadly confrontation, resulting in Odysseus's death. In Italic and Roman mythology, Telegonus is revered as the founder of Tusculum and sometimes Praeneste, cities in the region near Rome. Despite Circe's foresight into the future, she initiated the chain of events that ultimately led to Odysseus's demise. This portrayal casts Circe in a villainous light, as she disregarded any oaths she may have had not to harm Odysseus, finding a way to bring about his downfall nonetheless. In another time and another place, the legendary hero Jason and his brave band of Argonauts set sail in search of the Golden Fleece. Among the many challenges they faced on their journey, they encountered Circe. As the Argonauts navigated the treacherous waters of the Aegean Sea, they found themselves approaching the mysterious island of Aea, home to the fabled enchantress. Upon landing on the island's shores, the Argonauts were greeted by Circe, who appeared before them. Knowing the dangers that lay ahead, Circe offered the Argonauts her guidance, warning them of the perils that awaited them on their quest for the Golden Fleece. She spoke of the sirens, whose haunting songs lured sailors to their doom, and of the treacherous rocks that lurked beneath the surface of the sea. Additionally, Circe may have played a role in the story of Medea, who accompanied Jason on his quest. Some versions of the myth suggest that Medea was Circe's niece, and that Circe provided her with magical knowledge and assistance, which she used to aid Jason in his quest. And though their encounter with Circe was but a brief moment in their epic quest, her guidance proved invaluable, leading them one step closer to their ultimate goal and the promise of glory that awaited them beyond the horizon. The Odyssey was composed around the 8th century BC, while the tale of the Golden Fleece, as told in the myth of Jason and the Argonauts, is thought to have originated later, in the 5th or 4th century BC. This makes Circe an ageless figure, but sadly, there are few records detailing her life. She remains a mysterious character with ambiguous intentions in Greek mythology. She likely acted according to her own desires, living freely and without concern for the affairs of mortals. It's said that she had fairy assistants and lived like a queen, although the extent of her lifespan remains unknown. Circe stands out as one of the earliest and most prominent figures associated with witchcraft in Western literature and mythology. While Circe is not explicitly labeled as a witch in classical mythology, her character embodies many of the traits commonly associated with witches. This makes her a significant figure in the history of witchcraft, contributing to its portrayal in Western culture. It's worth noting that throughout history and mythology, the first recognized witch figure is the goddess Hecate. However, Circe's portrayal in Greek mythology as a potent enchantress has solidified her position as an iconic figure in the lore of witchcraft.